Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, we are running a bit late. Welcome to the panel discussion titled Precision Nutrition and Personalized Meals. I'm Professor Carine Platat, Chair of the Department of Nutrition and Health at the United Arab Emirates University in Al Ain. So the goal of our discussion today is to explore how precision nutrition is changing our way to think about food, health, and wellness. Precision nutrition actually goes beyond the traditional approach, one size fits all, and goes towards a new approach, integrating biological, physiological, lifestyle, and multiple other digital data. So this conversation is extremely relevant. We are now in the era of food innovation, artificial intelligence, data analytics, genomics, microbiome science, and all these different disciplines, they are now making precision nutrition and personalized meals possible. It is reshaping our environment, reshaping the way we deal with nutrition practice, education, and how the food and beverage sector is about to be modified as well. Before we start, let me first briefly introduce our distinguished panelists. Dr. Marija Djekic Ivankovic, I do apologize for the pronunciation, Research Associate at McGill University, School of Population and Global Health in Canada. Ms. Soniya Ashar, founder of NutriCal. Dr. Mohammed Gamal, lead researcher at ADAFSA in Abu Dhabi. And Dr. Bataineh, Assistant Dean for Student Affairs and Associate Professor in the Department of Nutrition and Health at UAE. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining and sharing your expertise today. So let's start with the foundation. Let's start with the scientific foundation of precision nutrition. So, Dr. Marija, we know that genomics and omics in general, microbiome science is now progressing extremely fast. But what is the current level of evidence supporting precision nutrition?
So, as you mentioned at the beginning, precision nutrition is one of the most dynamic and promising development that we have in public health and in disease prevention. It gives us a way to move beyond traditional generalized diet advice towards approaches that are more reflecting on our differences in terms of biology, genetics, and lifestyle. However, the public, as you mentioned, is really excited about what precision nutrition might bring, but scientific evidence data is still catching up in many areas. So the strongest evidence and tools that we have right now are definitely metabolomics and continuous glucose monitoring. So for metabolomics, in essence, if you want to explain what we are getting with metabolomics, it's a real-time biochemical snap of the individual response to diet, to nutrients intake. And while with continuous glucose monitoring, we are getting information how at a personal level, body is responding to the intake of certain food. And some individuals, after certain food consumption, will have a high spike in glucose, while others would not have. So this is in essence, what was the information that we will obtain. And in addition to that, nutrigenomics and microbiome are giving us some exciting information at the personal level. At nutrigenomics tests, we are getting some information about specific variants, such as, for example, tetrahydrofolate receptors that are playing important role in folate metabolism, or FTO, like a fat mass and obesity genes that are associated with risk for obesity. So with this, this microbiome is highly individual and dynamic, and this is what also provides us a powerful tool that we can use in precise nutrition.
Yeah, thank you. That's very exciting, as you just mentioned, to see how the science makes precision nutrition so promising for the future of the community. So you highlighted that on one side, yes, a lot of progress have been done, but what are the main challenges which are remaining, and is there a hope to solve them within a reasonable amount of time?
Well, certainly there is hope, but as you mentioned, we are excited about new potentials. However, there are a few important challenges that we should look at, and the first one is definitely diverse multi-ethnic data, as most of the studies so far are conducted on the Western population. And in order to make precise nutrition efficient, we need to collect data from diverse regions, including Middle East, to have adequate data that we can work with across the regions. So that would be my number one challenge that I would love to see soon, that we overcome that. The second one would be data integration, as definitely we need standardized protocols and the ways how to handle this data collection and data use. And the third one would be long-term impact studies, as we have short-term biomarkers that are giving us the adequate information. However, we need long-term data, effect of the long-term effects of precise nutrition, which in particular, for example, how it will affect what the effect will be on diabetes, on cardiovascular diseases, as this is what we would like to see long-term. And then the final one would be ethical use of the data that we are collecting, as we are collecting the biological data that should be handled with cautious, in particular if the data is stored on the platforms that would require a strong protection. Those would be my top 4 challenges that I would love to see addressed in relatively near future.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this insightful overview of the Scientific Foundation, highlighted on one side that already a lot of progress have been made, but at the same time highlighting some challenges related to the limited populations in which studies have been conducted so far, the lack of standardized protocols, and the lack of longitudinal data as well. So talking about precision nutrition is talking about science, but it's also talking about food innovation. How can we think about personalized meals without being able to provide the food that is appropriate to the single individuals? So, Dr. Mohammed, can you tell us a bit more regarding the role of the food innovation in enabling precision nutrition?
Yes. Thank you for your invitation. Food innovation is the heart of precision nutrition. When select any ingredient for innovation, new food based on innovation, any type of food should be focusing on different criteria before we start it. Should be selected based on safety, quality, and health benefits of each compound. After that, testing a chemical and microbiological hazard is very important point when selected any ingredient for development any innovation food. And different study focusing on some ingredient like protein, carbohydrate, fat, fiber, ash when selected its different point and balance for each ingredient development functional food. So when develop recent article about functional food selected based on prebiotic and probiotic and bioactive compound have promote health benefits for promote immune system or improve microbial balance in system, because different study work with the correlation between enhance gut microflora and mental health and mood is a very important point. And when focusing in different research about development of functional food, selected bioactive compound in development functional food. Recently, we have research about that using local biodiversity tree like Zizophilia, acacia, old summer, and cedar and laugh tree for extracted bioactive compound for ingredient and fortification, different functional food for enhanced immune system and increased bioactive compound like phenol and flavonoids for increased antioxidant enzyme. Another important point when development any novel food is easy to integrate in a daily diet. It's a very important point to handling. It's very easy to use. And from my point of view, should be integrate different data analysis, microbiome data, genome data, in when create smarter, healthier, and most sustainable food system is a very important point when integrate or functional product. And already we have a project about with UAE about food pattern and food consumption data. We have a lot of consumption data. We will integrate this data for innovation, different type of food. Its help is very important. Data help us for innovation, different type of food. The last point in innovation, study focusing on personalization nutrition based on for each person, not diet for all, nutrition for all, different study focusing on development diet for each person is very important point in development in new innovation food.
Thank you. So according to you, what is currently missing in this area of food innovation, new food product development? What is missing to really strengthen the ability to develop this variety of food products?
Probiotic, yeah. Regarding probiotic, when call about functional food, is the probiotic is classification number 1. Probiotic, when select the probiotic, especially lactic acid bacteria isolated from local environment is very important, is compatible with development any functional food in any society, but should be allow different criteria, safety, technological properties is very important, technical characteristics, resistant for bile, acid, and have antimicrobial activity, antioxidant activity, fortified in different functional food. We can enhance immune system and increase antioxidant enzyme and antimicrobial enzyme, and enhance for increase beneficial lactic acid bacteria in intestine and decrease harmful microorganisms. So increase the balance for beneficial microorganisms in mid-gut. It's very important.
Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. So after discussing the foundation of precision nutrition, let's move to the implementation. So what are the conditions that should be there to be able to implement precision nutrition? Dr. Moaz, from the academia perspective, the role of dietitian is transforming, it's changing. Dietitians cannot practice as they were used to do before, and they should integrate these new technologies, AI, bioinformatics, digital data. So what are the major educational challenges, and what are the changes that should be implemented in the curriculum to prepare the graduates to perform in this new era of precision nutrition?
Thank you, Professor Karen. Actually, this is a very, very important question. And just to say something, in the field of nutrition, maybe like we would have, not I would say like a hard journey in order to incorporate, let's say like the new developments into, let's say, the educational process. Within the field, for example, we have something, we call it like the multidisciplinary nature in the field of nutrition. Like for example, and also you, Professor Karen, as a sport nutritionist, you know that we tend like to get information from other, let's say like fields and majors in order to improve, let's say like the learning process for the, let's say, future dietitian nutritionist practitioners. So in my opinion, I think the educational process, especially if we are talking about, let's say, like new developments, as both colleagues have mentioned over here, and to recognize the, let's say, I would say, like the multi-layer complexity of the human nutritional requirements would be something of a great chance for our future practitioners if we can grasp like those, let's say, contributions that would come from like other scientific disciplines into the field of nutrition. And again, I would say we don't have to start from scratch, because we already have like experience before. Like for example, nowadays we have community nutrition, so we know the importance of the sociological component. We have nutritional psychology, we know like how the mental state and psychology would affect. The only thing that we are missing right now is like at the expert level, I know lots and lots of like colleagues and practitioners who can perform that. But at the, let's say, when we are talking about like transition into practice, this is where we have like to put like an extra effort. Because I want like those who are graduating from any program in nutrition to hit, let's say, like the ground standing. And to do so, we have to use like those, some of those like new tools. If you ask me, are those tools like mature enough to cover, let's say, or fill the required gap here? Unfortunately, I think like more research, as Professor Marija mentioned here, is required. Because like we need like to look into not only at the clinical level research, but also at the basic level research. Is it there? Have we validated, let's say, like those new tools? I'm not talking about precision nutrition per se. I'm talking about like AI, let's say, assisted, let's say, practice. Of course, we have like evidence-based practice, but we need like to put more effort into, let's say, like a practicum training and to incorporate, let's say, like those new ideas, a new, let's say, like a new introduced concepts into the educational process.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Moa. That's very useful reflection of the current situation. So you did mention that definitely there are a set of new skills that should be integrated into the curriculum. So how do you imagine this new academic system? Let's say, do you see academia moving alone, or would you suggest to rather have some multidisciplinary curriculum with a collaboration with external entities?
Yeah, thank you again. Actually, I think something that we are blessed here, especially in UAE University, okay, that we have this kind of flexibility, like to develop, let's say, like a new program For example, we can start, let's say, like a new program and incorporate, let's say, like, as you said, like people from other, let's say, disciplines, from other colleges or other departments or other programs in order to contribute to, let's say, like the development of such a new skills that are required. In your introduction into like the question, you said something about bioinformatics. And to be honest with you, like precision nutrition, it's all about like a prediction. It's all about simulation. It's all about, let's say, like the use of mega data. Like, let's say, like our students, and even within the program, okay, curriculum, we have to start introducing them into, let's say, machine learning and deep learning techniques. How to utilize, how to collect, how to use, let's say, like the collected data. How to incorporate them into, let's say, like their future practice, into their future profession. Like, for example, if they are giving a consultation, this consultation should be based on like deep knowledge, deep understanding about, let's say, even how the numbers are generated and how to use the numbers. So the curriculum process, I think it will not be like a big challenge per se, but like what to include in the curriculum would be like the big question. Do I need like to give them, let's say, like enough bioinformatics, let's say, like techniques? Do I have to take them into, let's say, understanding how like genetics and the genomics would influence their, let's say, decision later on as a practitioner? Those are like big questions, honestly. How to answer them? I think we need like to get like more people, more experts, like to, let's say, like incorporate, let's say, like people from the job market, the stakeholders, what we are expecting them to achieve. Do we have, let's say, like a niche for like, okay, or if there is like a need for such people? Of course there is, but like, is it now, is it later? Because we don't want like to end up with, let's say, a curriculum that is not applicable within like a few years. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Moa. That's, again, a very useful, these are useful comments, giving some thoughts and direction for the transformation of the education system. And that's a very good transition to talk about the role of technology. Definitely precision nutrition cannot exist without technology, without AI, without wearable devices. And Ms. Soniya, what is your opinion regarding how these tools, how technology can support the implementation of precision nutrition, especially here in this very enthusiastic market in the UAE?
Absolutely. So very good insights from my fellow panelists, and I think a really good segue to what we believe as well. No precision or no personalization is possible in general without good data. And what we realized when we embarked on this journey to make the UAE food ecosystem more transparent is the lack of data. So what we're actually starting with and what we are building right now is the largest food intelligence database, especially to support the local market. We all know what's happening in the UAE with lifestyle diseases, with the obesity crisis. So this has become quite urgent, I would say, for us to understand where we are in terms of the nutrition of the food that all of us are consuming on an everyday basis. We see this somewhere standardized in the packaged foods market. But all of us are now in the habit of going out to eat, ordering in almost 3-4 times a week. But our body does not have the information of what's going inside. For someone who has diabetes, to not know the sugar levels or the GI in a particular food item is not an option. I think we need to first use data, use AI to understand what we are consuming. And then, like again, the fellow panelists were mentioning, if we have this data in terms of what food exists, we have this data in terms of a blood marker or any information in terms of tastes and preferences of a consumer, and then we have consumption patterns as well. Can you imagine the impact we could have on, on the UAE and meet its plans in terms of eradicating this sort of health crisis in the future?
Yeah, it looks very exciting, right? So you did mention the lack of data. So how do you see do you see any solutions to overcome this challenge?
Absolutely. So I think this has to be a top-down approach. Unfortunately, we do exist in a time that we still have to encourage the food ecosystem to start becoming more transparent and healthier. And to be honest, I really see this happening in the UAE, and that is very exciting. When we talk about regulations such as NutriMark, when we talk about the Sahi program, I think these are, with NutriMark on the FMCG side, with Sahi on the hospitality side, I think this approach that's coming top-down to create this data, to gather this data about what exists in the market, how nutritious it is or not, and to provide that information to consumers to make more informed decisions and then have a personalized experience. I think this has to be the way forward. So I would say regulated transparency should be the way to go.
Thank you, Ms. Soniya. So it's very interesting to see here that the country has already started to be extremely active, putting the first stones to reach this ultimate goal of precision nutrition implementation. So I would like to open the floor to the audience if there is any question for the panelists. There's no microphone. Maybe you can stand or... Yeah,
we can hear you.
Yeah. No.
So I'm glad to have the private sector here, the regulator, ADAFSA, the academic institute, all in one panel. I believe this question cannot be addressed by just one panelist. The answer will be shared by all of them. Based on your experience, and since you've been in this precision nutrition and personalized meal for a while, what would be I'm not sure, like maybe the personalized, like precision nutrition, I'm not in the field, but I thought this is more specified to a certain segment in the society. Now the awareness, that came in the society when we go to personalized meal, yet what are the biggest barriers for the consumer adoption of personalized meal? Is it the cost? Is it the awareness? Is it the lack of trusting the output of the research? What would be the biggest barrier for consumer not to adopt personalized meal?
Yes.
Is the question clear?
Yeah. Thank you for your question, Dr. Mohammed. For your question divided in 3 points. The first point, awareness, is very important. Thank you for your question, Dr. Mohammed. I think your question divided in 3 points. The first point regarding the awareness is very important to awareness about innovation foods or innovation food is very important point. What is the health benefits is innovation food, promote health benefits, increase antioxidant effect on microbial gut. So it's very important. Different project focusing on awareness campaign. We have now a project about a healthy food making awareness campaign for 5 months to encourage different people to consume the healthy food, especially for emirate obesity women. I think it's a very important project to change the maintain for different people from the normal food consumed highly carb, high fat, so on, to used or to consume healthy food, more fruit, more vegetables, more antioxidant compound to enhance antioxidant. Second point, regarding the innovation, research institute is very important to work about this point for use bioactive ingredient and fortification in different functional food for enhance the immune system, and also the probiotic is very important to integration in different functional foods, especially beverage or functional fermented milk, so on, to enhance different functional food and affordability and increase different type of and variety of functional food in different in market, especially in UAE or globally.
Does it answer your question? Thank you.
May I just add something? How to overcome that gap is like to make precision nutrition, to tell people that actually it's not new. It existed for centuries. And those adaptive mechanisms of food systems, for example, here in Emirates, there are many adaptations that happened over centuries, such as use of camel milk, fermented food, herbal infusions. There were adaptation to geographic region, like to desert environment, to spiritual practices. So those were not new. We just have to come to roots and to use technology. But we should embrace traditional knowledge and share that with people, but also use technology in the future. For me, that's what precision nutrition is. And that might be the way how to share that with people so that they understand it's also something that there maybe some of them are living already.
Yeah, that's a very important point to, of course, not forget that the traditional way of eating, and we can think about, of course, the UAE traditional diet. We can think about the Mediterranean diet, which is not too far from it, and see how it was spontaneously followed in the past centuries and how we are now away from them. And by trying to go back to those traditional habits, mixing this with a bit of innovation and technology, we might be able to do extremely well in the future. So is there any other question from the audience? No? So before we conclude, I would like to, would you like to add?
Actually, I was going to add something. Thank you, Dr. Marija. Like, you've been said that in a beautiful way. We have to respect, let's say, the local food culture wherever we go. We have people that they've been living like this for I don't know, countless number of generations, using, let's say, the local food sources. And the food was not only what we knew what they were eating, but actually now we have to recognize what is suitable for the people. After, let's say, millennia and generations, people developed some kind of adaptation to what was there in their nature, in their local environment. So precision nutrition is taking us back, as you mentioned, it's not something new. But it took us a while to figure out that precision nutrition is the origin. Yeah, we have to pay attention to why someone who is coming, for example, from UK to live in UAE will have like time to adapt, and most likely he will end up going like to supermarkets that still sells, let's say, like UK food. But for someone from UAE, here he will enjoy his life, because basically camel milk, as you mentioned, fermented food products like dates and everything, those are, let's say, like the staples for him. Thanks.
Thank you. That's absolutely true, and that's one of the local challenge we have when we're talking about collecting data. Whenever we talk about diet here, we have multiple nationalities, and having access to all the dietary profiles, dietary patterns, is one of the major challenges we have. Yeah. So before we conclude, I will ask our guests to share one actionable recommendation to make precision nutrition concrete within the next few years. Professor Dr. Maria, would you like to start?
Certainly. So I will continue this conversation that would actually be my final recommendation, is that while we talk about the use of artificial intelligence and tools, wearable, different tools that are available now, we should not forget traditional knowledge. And the question that we should ask ourselves is, what did our ancestor know that we are now just rediscovering through science? And with that balance of use of technology and traditional knowledge, I would love to see pilot studies that would combine those two, and that would, for example, in this area, in Middle East, create programs or initiative that would bring together those two, technology and traditional knowledge, and offer precision nutrition that would be relevant to the content here. So, and of course, to collect data that is diverse, and that would guide us. So this is what I would love to see, those pilot studies that will be rooted in tradition, but will bring technology on board.
Thank you for this very inspiring recommendation. So I will ask you to be quite brief, because we are about finishing. Dr. Mohammed, please, would you like to?
Yes, in the same point with Dr. Maria, I recommend focusing on build the personal data based on combination local and combination data, genetic data, and microbiome data too, and different data for food consumption and life consumption pattern. We help diets researcher and food company for need match with individual model practical well. So I think this approach will help make precision nutrition more accessible and relative to our local communities.
Thank you, Dr. Mohammed. Thank you. Ms. Sonia?
So I already spoke about how I think the top-down approach is something I recommend, like regulation. But I read an interesting stat recently that consumers, so 40% consumers are using AI to make purchase decisions about their food. AI is based on data, so be transparent with your nutrition data, and you will end up gaining more consumer trust and increasing brand value. So,
thank you, Michelle. That's an extremely valid point. Whenever we start using AI tools, of course, they are working based on data, and the more data we enter, the more accurate the system will become. So that's a major point here. Dr. Muad, please.
Thank you. Actually, since now we need like to show something that we are working other than like what you eat. Now we need to know like when you eat the thing, and how to eat it, and why you eat it. And this kind of information, especially with the new technologies, might be more suitable at the current stage for like a new master degree programs in precision nutrition. And I would prefer, for example, something That will also include, let's say, how we can secure the obtained data. Like we talked about, let's say, like precision nutrition, new technologies like obtaining personalized individual data for personalized meals and so on. But like we need also to tackle something important about like the security of obtained data. So try to find a solution for the safety of my data. I will gladly share it with you, and to have a master program where I can prepare as soon as possible, let's say like people who are, I would say like precision nutritionists. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to thank our panelists today for sharing their expertise and for this very insightful discussion. Thank you to the audience as well to be here with us. Enjoy the rest of the day.